Hello, my name is Andre V and I'm the founder of Parcel Lockers Central. Today we are talking about the history and future of parcel lockers. And my guest here today is Aku Happo. Hi Aku, how are you doing?
Hi, Andre. Hey, good morning. I'm doing great. Thank you.
I'm really pleased to have you here because you are sort of carrying on with you the big history of parcel locker development. You were one of the first um, persons and companies with Finnish Posti starting parcel locker development already in, was it 1997 or something like that? What is the history? When did you start to work with parcel lockers?
Yeah, thanks. A bit later. So I joined Finnish Post in 1997, straight from school. Started in finance, then adapted myself into parcel business of Finnish Posti. So I was the parcel business guy for Finnish Posti, originally for B2B and Express. But then back in 2008, I got also the B2C and e-commerce parcel responsibility. And at that time, and Posti and also other Nordic countries were quite advanced with the PUDO concepts already. Main parcel delivery method was to use local stores and then have shelves there and then give it over the counter. And in my DNA, there is always this challenge the status quo and how we can improve things. And I remember that in the very first day when I got this e-commerce and B2C responsibility, I knew that there was a study of the parcel lockers somewhere in Posti's headquarters. And I wanted to see that. And what I got was 100 pages, a survey saying that conclusion that, yeah, good, but not for us. And I decided, hey, let's not give it up. There must be a more efficient way to give out the parcel over the counter than human being. So me and my team started to look that deeper. And back in 2008, I then got a very small innovation budget out of the parcel budget to test this idea. And what we did both in Helsinki and Tallinn, Estonia at the same time, we did a proof of concept. We invited basically all the locker providers at that time and found a team from UK to build us one locker in Tallinn, one locker in Helsinki. And then we invited one of the biggest mail order company to have their products as a gift for customers. So what we did, we delivered 1,000 free gifts via these lockers in 2 countries in 2 weeks' time or something. And then we did a wide survey for more than 10,000 consumers in both countries. And that result of the survey was like an eye-opener. 7,500, so 75% or something like that, very high percentage of 10,000 said that if I can get my parcel via this type of automation without human contact and very efficiently, I would do that. So that customer conviction was one of the points that we saw there. Obviously in 2008, then technology was not ready. It was way too expensive. We started to look how it would be feasible, what it mean for integration perspective. All the IT systems were really the legacy systems at that time. Nothing was in cloud, no APIs. It was EDI systems and everything. So it turned out that it's not financially feasible. Our business case at that time was to test that against outsourced PUDO. So I set the parameter that locker need to beat that, otherwise it won't fly. And we had to park it. Then I was sent to Copenhagen, Denmark to run businesses from there. We kind of put it on hold for so then I moved back and actually group of Estonian entrepreneurs contacted me. They had a very promising, fast growing concept they built in Estonia called SmartPost. And their pitch was that they have built the whole concept, beginning of the network, but their goal is to focus on the technology and to the hardware part, so this network is for sale. And they set it up an auction between a couple of big companies to sell that. I went to see it and saw that, hey, this is working. There are like a happy customers. We went through the numbers. We saw that they really find a ways how to make the cost down. They built the hardware and software themselves. So we were really interested from the Posti side to be in this game. And then back in summer 2010, after long internal process, I got permission to buy this network. And at the same day when we took it over, 1st of August 2010, SmartPost original founders renamed their company to be Clever. We took over the network like an Estonian startup, 6 people, and started to build on that. And of course, for Posti, the reason was that, hey, we want to have this concept and locker in Finland. So find a way how that can be hacked.
And one remark on that, the same company you were talking about, SmartPost, is existing right now, today, here in Estonia and Baltics, and is one of the top carriers in the region. So you spotted the star already in the beginning.
Yes, we did. We did. We saw all the positive remarks, and then we were empowering the local team. I was able to keep that, so to say, enough isolated from the Posti operations for the critical years. So basically, after the acquisition price, we never had to put any more money into it. So basically, that company earned itself, and in coming years after that, from 2010 to 14, it basically captured very significant market share from the local post Omniva in Estonia in terms of B2C and C2C deliveries. So there were a lot of very, very good things in the concept. And then my main goal after that was that, hey, bring it to Finland. And that was very challenging project. So I was spending a lot of my time for internal decision making and change leadership, because you can imagine that there can be some resistance over that. I literally had ferry tickets in my pocket all the time, and when someone was criticizing and saying that I don't believe it, I sent them to Estonia to meet my team, and they came back, yeah, it works in Estonia, but most probably not here in Finland. Then we started to look how to integrate this to the Finnish Posti operation, and that seemed impossible. So then I decided, okay, let's not integrate it first. Let's show it what it can do. What is the minimum integration we have to do? And obviously, customer invoicing and track and trace for parcel was kind of quite important. And we decided that, okay, let's do that. And everything else, we just take the Estonian startup, bring it inside a Finnish Posti and start grow it from there. And this is what we did. And I promised to the CEO of Posti at that time that in the first quarter in 2011, we'll have it up and running in Finland. And I remember it was Friday, the last day of March, and I was asking from my team that, what is your view? We have still 25 smaller or bigger issues unsolved. So do we go live or not? And they said, hell yeah, we do it. And then in the afternoon of the last day of quarter 1, 2011, we launched it. 15 machines in Helsinki area. We got into the biggest grocery retail chains already, S Group and K Group. We got into shopping centers, and we started to do that. Timing was, of course, perfect. So I was lucky with that, because the Posti's own post office network was under restructuring. So basically, my colleague was outsourcing original post offices, putting pudos around, and then I started to put lockers around those, and we were able to keep all the good customer experience and very innovative things what Estonians developed, and in that way that we build it internally as a intra startup type of thing, we were able to prove these things like bit by bit, and only when we saw that this is working, then we kind of a step-by-step integrated it. And it took like 2-3 years, and then it was fully integrated. All the mail delivery persons of Posti were able to fill and empty the machine. It was like an integrated part of the business. There were, of course, many things in this. For example, at that time, still the integration to e-commerce companies, the shippers, was one of the hardest things. It was even at that time a strong debate that who should decide delivery method and delivery location. So some of the old legacy mail order companies said that no, it's up to them to decide. So you shouldn't let consumer to do that. And they were basically the last ones to join it. But we were able to speed up the e-commerce growth of mid-size and smaller companies with the lockers. For them, it offered very, very good and innovative way to do the deliveries, and all the time the consumer experience part was kept in a very good level. And with Posti's budget, we had time to let it grow naturally. We never pushed any parcel to the lockers. We let customers to steer it to the locker. Well, then it was ensured that the customer experience was matching what they were wanting, and it started to pick up very quickly, actually. And I was running that until I was working with Posti until 2014. And at that time, we had investment decision to the network of 500 in Finland. We had nearly 100 machines in Estonia, and as said, significant market share captured from the local Omniva there. So it went well, but I may write a book about it later. So it's like there are so many interesting things and funny stories around it. Yeah, acquiring Estonian startup innovation was the key for Posti to get it, and then I got support from the management, and the timing was right, and had a great team to push it through. So that was in the nutshell. And all the time, the business case was shown that hey, when we reach certain usage of capacity, it will be way better than the Pudos. But the main thing was all the time the customer experience, which was way better, especially for the Finns, who are known to avoid human contact if you can talk to the automate. This is really for Finland, it was perfect that the country is so tech savvy and everyone wants to use machines if they are well.
This is my question also always, that Estonia and Finland are very high level parcel lockerized, and what is the reason for that? Are we some kind of geeks as a nation? So we do like talking to machines, or did we do something right in the process so that the beauty and the advantages of locker system comes out immediately? But here comes my question, and you named it, I think very well. 10-15 years ago, or 15 years ago, you decided that customer has to make that decision in checkout, and this is extremely important also in my understanding, because most of the Europe has not yet there is a shipper and the retailer who is taking the decision for the customer. So I think this is one of the key questions of successful parcel locker delivery. Give the option to decide to the customer.
Yeah, it was, and that was really a fundamental battle inside the Posti and inside the market. And the ones who captured that early, they became actually also the most growth-oriented and successful e-commerce in Finland, actually. So they were really the early adapters. And yeah, the thing is still there. So I think partly it's that, of course, both countries were very tech savvy, but also, for example, Finland, we never were a home delivery country. Very sparsely populated, long distances, and early on, all the carriers started to use retail stores as their pick-up and drop-off points. So for us, it was easier to replace manual service, which often led to queues and slow services, it was easier to replace that with the automated, well-working lockers. And we didn't have to replace the whole home delivery system because we didn't have one. But as a result, lockers are and have been the delivery method number one in Finland for years. And there are even experiments that if you give a Finn free home delivery and free locker, do you guess which one the Finnish consumer will select?
Yeah, this is the same.
Yeah.
Here in Estonia, there was a recent International Post Corporation research looking for e-commerce customers, and then the Estonian, there are 71% of e-commerce customers saying that the parcel locker delivery is the first preference of theirs.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a convenient thing also. So you don't have to monitor your phone. You don't have to monitor the availability. There is no this mysterious van coming to your home and then leaving and sending a note or whatever. So it's a convenient question as well.
But tell me a little bit about the hardware when you started in Posti, because SmartPost was in the beginning and is still an indoors locker company. Did you started also with indoors lockers? Because now Posti is mainly outdoors.
Yeah, so for the, let's say, more than 10 years, lockers in Finland were only indoors. So, and of course, then quite soon after that, the opening hours of the retail stores were liberalized. So they were open 7 days a week and from 8 to 10 in the evening, typically. Estonia was that even earlier. So most of the things was covered. And then it was, in the beginning, it was more important to connect that with the retailers to make sure that the customers will go to their store as well. So that was a really big argument to get it in. It was more convenient in the winter and cheaper technology-wise. So it took some time before Finland started to look outdoor machines. Estonia did that earlier. And both countries, partly for the reason that the best indoor locations were already taken. This is where we are now. So we have 6-7 lockers in each grocery store in Finland next to each other, and then a couple of other lockers outside. Oh, I didn't mean to build it in this way, but this is the reality.
This is also one joke on me. I took a picture of Estonian supermarket front. There was 6 different parcel lockers in a row. And everybody in the industry says that no, this is not sustainable. There should be one locker, or there should be no lockers. But in my mind, in a sense that I know that most of the carriers in Estonia are profitable. So in a sense, companies are making money with their lockers. So how can we restrict the making money? So I think this is a market that regulates it.
Yeah, kind of. So I've been then my journey continues. I left Posti, I became entrepreneur, and actually back in 2015 I did a European-wide sales journey. So I was selling lockers to all the carriers and the postal companies in Europe. I think a small team, we met 100 companies, 26 European countries or something. And that journey showed me how fundamentally broken the last mile delivery is. So I saw that, hey, many countries are 5 years behind what we had in Nordics and Finland. And I've often said that the biggest innovation in last mile delivery was the moment when horse carriages were replaced by the diesel vans. And still today, diesel van and the home delivery is the most common delivery method for parcels.
I think, Aku, you are mistaken. You are mistaken because there is a big innovation. They are replacing diesel vans with EV vans, saying that this is a huge improvement.
No, I mean, this is now happening. So now we see finally in 2025 and recent years, we have seen 2 major trends happening. E-vehicles are coming and lockers are coming. But there was even resistance for that in the industry in 2015 or so. So basically, carriers inherited e-commerce growth. So after I'm old enough to remember the .com crash. And after that, e-commerce has grown double digits every year. Carriers inherited that, and the strongest carriers were able to make profitable business out of that. There's nothing bad about it. But when everyone optimized their own logistics, own deliveries, and it's of course fairly difficult for competitors to cooperate in strategic areas, we see the results. So there are parallel separate courier, diesel and electric van delivery networks, and there are parallel separate isolated locker networks. So this thing, yes, you can do something with the regulation, but I think Europe is already regulating itself to be not competent. So I'm not the big fan of regulation myself. It should come naturally from the industry. And what I believe strongly is it is coming through collaboration. When you can collaborate and show the benefits, they should be financial, they should be environmental, and all the time when you keep the customers in centric, then it will lead to better systems. And if we jump from 2015 now to 2025, we see that now huge major players in Europe are building open locker networks, cooperating with each other, and doing this in the way that they never did before, because they see reason for it. They see economical reason, first of all, I think, then environmental and consumer reason. So this is happening, and I'm happy to see that. So I'm kind of what we were able to see earlier from the Finnish viewpoint, because market was harder, it's now happening, but it took more than 10 years. And also in there, I think the one big event was that the COVID showed for many players in this industry that the home delivery can't be the only option. So the volume peaked so highly, and it was impossible to find enough drivers and vans and get all the parcels delivered throughout the day. That triggered many big players to think about other solutions.
Yeah, I think that the delivery industry has been victim of the sort of the success of the e-commerce growth, because again,
Exactly.
as you said, 25 years constantly 10 to 15% on a yearly basis growth. This is unimaginable in other industries, that you will get volumes growing constantly 10 to 15%. And for us, because my background is also Omniva, it was really hard to keep up with the volume from investment wise, in a sense that you hardly were able to invest into your own needs for capacity. So I'm always been for the open networks, and we were trying to open our network to competitors, also carriers. We didn't have enough capacity. We weren't able to invest enough to do that. That's why the companies who has been exactly before COVID were in parcel lockers, they got the real boosts on that. The lack of agnostic networks is that nobody has enough money to invest to create additional capacity.
Exactly. And of course, when again, if you looked at from the courier viewpoint, for them, adding man and van is a variable operational cost. And until the moment that you were able to invite more vans to your availability and had drivers for all of them, that worked well. And that was which hit the wall during the COVID, and many of them realized that this can't be the thing. And then when you are building locker infrastructure, it's a capital expenditure investment, and you have to calculate long-term investment for that, and it took some time to get there. But as said, now it has started to happen finally. But still, diesel van home delivery is the dominant player. Even we have a lot of lockers and e-vehicles. And
I don't see also a problem with that, because I'm not against home delivery. But the thing is, there is one more thing that I think is very interesting to know for our viewers from both Estonian and Finland example, is that there has been a trend from the day one that customer are paying for the delivery. So there is no free delivery concept. I feel this is one of the very big obstacles in some of the countries where the dominant is free delivery, because in that case, sort of, there are different delivery methods, and different delivery methods incorporate different cost base.
Yeah,
it's a proven fact that home delivery is almost twice as expensive for the company than parcel locker delivery. But if the customer doesn't feel that, if for the customer there is zero price for both of them, it's very hard to know exactly what customer wants.
Exactly. And I think this part, e-retailers or the e-commerce part, spoiled partly because the biggest players played very aggressive free delivery strategy for years. But now there is more cost conscious, there's more environmental conscious. All these are developing to the right direction, which should be that transparently customer have a choice, and he or she is aware of the both financial and environmental consequences of the choice. And then it's of course free choice. You can have home delivery or locker, but they are different. They are really, the trend of the industry is correct. And now I'm also happy to see that the speed is there and bigger investments are behind. And of course, we have been talking a lot about lockers and vans. Also, we went through all the other opportunities. Could it be robots? Could it be self-driving cars? Could it be droids? Could it be drones? But so far, any of those next level things has not been able to prove itself in the level that a locker has been. So yes, you can have a drone delivery, but it's not yet in the level that it's scalable and
Yeah, and then there is one more sort of debate, not very active, but still there is a debate, because there are public parcel lockers and there are residential parcel lockers. Let's say that the US market is basically installing almost only residential lockers. This is the same in Australia. The Chinese model is also, let's say, this is not sort of public parcel. They are sort of public. They are located mainly in the residential buildings. So what is your take on that? What is your view on because so far we have been talking about public parcel lockers. What's your view on the residential parcel lockers? What is the future of these products?
of course, it's very much related to market dynamics, how people are living, how they are shopping, and so on. Then each market is different on that. So I don't have so much experience of Chinese and some things. So I met some US locker experts in Post Expo actually, and they said that because US is lacking behind with the locker innovation, they came to Europe to see that. So it was really, because in many times and many other businesses it's the vice versa. So I believe the models will be found, and it's not one against each other. So it should be the flexible choice and multiple methods. And then of course it's clear that lockers can't do everything. Now we see that, for example, IKEA has successfully launched very big lockers for even furnitures. There are lockers for fresh food and stuff like that. So it's becoming, but still you need all these methods. And then finally, I believe it is up to us as a consumers. If my way of living offers me a great way to do the residential locker, why not? When I'm doing my errands and going to job and doing my other shopping, I can combine my e-commerce pickups and returns to that. I can do that, no problem. So it's not that black and white. You need to find the best way that fits to each market dynamics. And one thing is for sure, when you have consumers on your side constantly repeating their purchases and usage, then you have done something right.
Yeah, this is my thesis also. I think that I take an example of the London, and both of us remember the red phone booth. So there was a time where you could call in phone booth, and this was an open infrastructure. I think that the lockers is becoming the same. They are becoming the open infrastructure. So basically everybody can access every locker whenever it is. So there is interoperability. This is one thing I really hope that technology can provide us one day, that I can access or rent any locker anywhere for whatever reason. But there's a way to go still. This opening the locker, the agnostic network, this is still extremely hard, not even from the business side, but from the technology side, to reach the integration level with everybody. But maybe we haven't talked about AI, so maybe AI will be sort of technology that can bring us some kind of interoperability to have access to everywhere.
Yeah, I believe so. And yeah, today I don't see that much anymore technology preventing it. So we have technologies in the market where you can run open lockers smoothly. That's not the thing. I think at the moment the question is that who will take the role to build this infrastructure? Whose job is it? So far it's been mainly courier companies or some other type of companies who build it open for the others, but it is huge infrastructure building game. And also I've been participating into many city and public initiatives, so they often lack the continuity. There is like experiment, you test something, you put something small on the field, but it's not there. So, and I don't blame them on that. It's not public infrastructure is and has been for water and electric supply and stuff like that, but because parcel delivery is privately organized differently, why they should do that. So it is probably again collaboration between these two. So cities will see the problem, their streets are congested, they are limiting the vans in the streets, all that stuff. At the same time, they wanna empower their local retailers to flourish and invite people to come to the cities. So everyone has their kind of a viewpoint on this, and everyone has their reason to do it. So I'm sure that within the next 5 years or so, we will see fully open infrastructures, which are probably then one can be that they are co-developed by both private and public bodies in the way. But ultimately, that's a thing to have. And I'm inviting then drones and droids to connect when they are ready for that. So there can be a drone on the roof, and then droids are leaving from the upper locker or whatsoever. So that can be the future model.
Yeah, absolutely. I just recently did a video interview with one entrepreneur who is building actually interface for the drones to work together with parcel lockers. So basically they have a sort of infrastructure for connecting drones to parcel lockers. But let's go a little bit back about this urban and city planning thing. One thing I am waiting actually is that the infrastructure or real estate money is coming into the parcel locker business, because yes, you are absolutely right. 90% of the parcel locker networks are operated and owned by carriers. But if you are looking the parcel locker business, this is much more similar to real estate business. This is a location, and this is a sort of 50 years of payback period. And we have first sign, because the Austrian company MyFlexbox got investment from the UK infrastructure venture capital. So I think that this is going to be a breakthrough where real estate long money is finding this niche and starts financing building networks.
I believe so. And it is then that no one alone has all the knowledge. So, for example, for real estate investors, this has been still too far and very intangible so far. But it is becoming for sure. And then when they do it, they need operators to run it. They need technology to have it. They need carriers to be connected, consumers to be there. And once you can run successful proof of that concept, and they start to see that, hey, actually it's 1.5x better than my original real estate investment. That will happen. So there is money in the world, and there is all the knowledge. It's just a question how you connect these all together, and that requires a innovative breakthrough collaboration. So the parties who are not typically collaborate with each other need to do that, because what common carrier is having with the owner of the property? Not much at the moment. So it's a very interesting idea, and I believe that there is a reason to do that for the future.
But let's come to today now, and what you are doing with SmartMile. So I will ask you this way, that you are one of the most experienced persons in parcel locker business, software development. You have developed the SmartMile parcel locker sort of operating system or environment, operating locker networks. What do you think, how ready it is? You have probably a vision that this has to do something. Are you 50% ready? Are you 80% ready? Are you 100% ready already for the future? So what is your vision? How mature we are as an industry?
Technological readiness is there. So our platform to be agnostic to both sides from day one. So it's connected to all possible hardware providers, all the machines, and it is connected to all the major couriers. And then we gained this experience of running our own networks for 5 years. So we build network in Netherlands, we build one in Finland. We got all major 5 carriers in Finland to join, everybody but Posti, because they had their own, which I built earlier. So we gained quite some experience of that, and that led us to solve the locker capacity issue as well. So we built a very, very dynamic way to handle the capacity. Technology is never 100% ready, but the technological capability to run open network in efficient way is there, and you can connect all these future needs into this. So whether it's other delivery method than locker, yes, whether it's a AI driven forecasts and models, you can do that. So it's not preventing you anymore. Everything in cloud, everything connected easily via APIs. So all that is there. In that way, yes, for us, it's the way how we can empower the business. And when we founded the SmartMile back in 2016, our mission has not changed much. It has been all the time making this industry better in terms of sustainability, efficiency, and keeping a customer centric there. And we believe strongly in collaboration. So this industry challenge, what we are having, is so big that no one can really solve it themselves. So it's the way to set up the way to collaborate and have everyone in there. And then one of the recent development is that how to invite retailers to be part of it. In the, let's put it this way, the traditional locker building way, retailers were mainly offering square meters from their store, and they were not connected to the locker which was in their own store, which was kind of strange. And the key thing is that how to invite them to use the locker they have for their own deliveries, returns, for their own customer cases and stuff like that. So it's again very much around the collaboration, how you can invite and orchestrate all the parties together in the way that they all get what they want and what they need, and improve their business.
But how much of your development is going to I rephrase the question. Parcel lockers are, as name says, they are very much parcel delivery oriented so far, but there are dozens of different use cases for lockers. for renting stuff, for I don't know, keys to Airbnb apartments, leaving car keys for key lockers, storage lockers, different kind of stuff. How much of your time is going to develop this kind of functions into your software so that you will be your client, because you are providing the software to the operator, can make new products based on their capacity, or we are still in the phase that we are trying to optimize the parcel last mile delivery capacity?
It depends what is your key customer audience. So how we build our platform is that we have found a scalable and flexible way for the lowest level nominators. So at the end of the day, what Locker needs to do is open the door and send the signal to the system that it was assigned from. And based on top of that, then you have all the use cases and integration. So for us, it's a customer segment question. So our platform can very well already now manage all this, but especially if you are running a rent a tool platform, you need the one who is doing that. Or if you are exchanging Airbnb keys, you need a service provider who is doing that. And the question is how to put all this together. What we know is that not easily any of these use cases alone justifies the Locker investment. So it should go vice versa. So on top of the infrastructure you have, you are then inviting other use cases to use it so that the infrastructure builder got a maximum return on their investment. If you are the biggest carrier in your country, your Locker is full anyway. What is your incentive to invite those? Not much. And this has been the case mostly. But when you go beyond this, and when you talk about open public infra lockers, they can be 50 or 60% utilized by the traditional parcels, by the carriers. And then you can get actually much more return when you invite these other needs into it, because you can easily ask higher price out of those. During our journey, we've tested many of those. So we've tested groceries, we've tested robots, we've tested instant delivery from the Locker even. And we saw that we can get 5 or X more price per parcel if it's instantly delivered. But it was the other thing around how to organize the logistics, who would sell and run those, more than the technology itself. So I see that these are emerging needs, and in free and open world, they will come when the infrastructure itself becomes more visible and bigger, so to say, that it's like a common thing.
Yeah, that's why I really also like the companies like MyFlexbox and former One Stop Box. Now they are Dane fashion in Germany. Agnostic networks are more eager to find new ways to utilize the compartments, not only for the last mile delivery but for the services. So I really wait for agnostic networks to emerge, to be stronger, because I think they will lead the way of different use cases, how they can be adapted, because they are not so much last mile parcel oriented.
Exactly. And yes, having some experience of that, when you reach the moment that as an open network provider, your lockers are full, that's perfect, because then you can start to ask that, hey, who really wants this capacity? What is the price you are willing to pay? Are you willing to pre-book? Or if it's just low-level alternative for you, there will be others who are willing to pay higher price. And then together with this innovative approach to invite these new use cases, you can really change the whole thing. But it's emerging. It is there cooking up. So I believe it will be taking some years before we see big movements in this area, because first we have to see these really big open networks to be there.
Yeah,
and this has just started now.
I really agree with you, because again, to reach the level that your network is 70, 80, 100% full, it takes years, if not tens of years. So I've experienced this with Omniva, and a lot of sort of Central and Western European networks are still too young for that to be so full that they need actually capacity management, because you need the capacity management when you are on the limits. If you are 50% full, whatever. Whatever
exactly.
is the open local network, open capacity number. But still, I think that, but you are ready. Your software is ready for capacity management, for demand forecast, probably this kind of stuff. So the new client will get quite an advanced tools, even if they don't need it in the beginning.
Exactly. So it's a future proven. Oh, and this is what we are heading for. So it's not that you can have a software who can run one courier use case with one locker provider. They can do it cheaper than we do. But once you have all the needs and you want to be proven for the future development, then it's our cup of tea to develop that further with you. So of course, when you wrap up the whole my story, I've been often couple of years ahead where market is going. But as I said, I'm really happy to see that these big movements and development in this industry are now happening. So that's really great.
Absolutely. I do feel that it's very nice talking to you, but using your sort of future vision qualities. So what are your takes for this year and maybe next year? What are the topics in parcel locker sort of development, and what are the client needs? We have autonomous lockers. We have now again agnostic locker development. Is there any trend you can sort of see that is going on in parcel locker business, mainly in Europe?
Definitely the open locker trend we discussed already. So that's probably the biggest trend. So big players doing this, they have money behind, and they have like a really big partners. So this is happening. Then technology-wise, there is a lot of debate of autonomous lockers for sure, and then time will tell how big amount it will capture and how it will work. And there again, I see the key is that how you talk to the consumer. Is it going to be via app? Is there a PIN pad, or what actions I need to do as a consumer to get connected to the lockers? And based on my experience, it's not the best. It should be so easy that regular consumer do not need any advice, instructions, or anything. It's just go there and take your parcel, and when that works, it's fine. After that, the technology is just the enabler to do that. So that's one thing. Then there are these emerging trends where retailers have awakened that, hey, how we can use the lockers to our business, and so on. There are some city and public initiatives, things like that, and many other things. I see still that the 2025 and coming years are really infrastructure building years. So that's the bigger trend, and then the other innovations will be coming on top of that, because alone they are not strong enough to justify the locker infras, basically.
What about the big buzzword in the world right now, and this is AI? We haven't almost mentioned this thing, and I'm also not sure what is the implications of AI to parcel locker delivery. What's your take? Can we use it somewhere?
Yeah, definitely, and we've been experimenting this with Google, actually, where we work closely. So you need again a model and ecosystem to have it. So basically AI is nothing without long-term data collected and then definition how you use it. But in order to forecast, for example, how lockers gonna be utilized, what are the events in the city, what is the weather, what is the traffic, what are all the external trends impacting that, and when you can run a model which handles this data I'm sure it can improve the prediction of the delivery and capacity usage a lot. So this will happen, but it will probably take some years before we have these fully in use. First, someone have to decide that I'm going to build it, then they have to collect the data, test it, and improve it. And
I think I share this view because, in a sense, there is a saying or some theories that AI is changing some industries fundamentally. I don't see AI is changing parcel locker delivery fundamentally, but definitely he can improve it a lot in different areas, starting from the vision forecast for the computer vision for whatever optimizations. In that sense, I really hopeful for the next developments also. But Aku, it has been really a pleasure talking to you. I think I learned more than with last year in the industry from you. So I'm really thankful for the time, and hope we are going to see each other soon in some event.
Thank you, Andre. It was my pleasure. Thanks.